The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Anthony Dorsett, Damontre Moore, and Newy Scruggs.
It is time for the Players Lounge here as we getting ready to enter the bye week for the Dallas Cowboys. Anthony Dorsett is here. We've got Mr. Fourth and Long in the house, Jesse Holly in the house. He's here. I'm merely Newy Scruggs to carry on the conversation. This show is brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. So Players Lounge is a little bit different today. Church is out doing church things. It's only he can do.
Rich people stuff.
When you're gifted the bag from Shad Khan, you should do that.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Shad Khan and Jerry Jones. Barry picked up 2 bags. I ain't pocket watching.
In Church's mind, it is all Shad Khan.
Okay.
That's how he explains it.
Hey, look, man. Shad Khan, the owner of the Jaguars, has blessed many a person.
Yeah.
Blessed many a person. They've been so bad that they just you get a bag.
You get a bag. You get a bag.
Right.
Oprah.
We know we had to pay you extra to come down here. So and so I'm not mad at church, baby. Go ahead and do that thing. So Shad Khan, I just said, man, you should send that man a holiday card every year. Hey, man, I just want you to thank you, man. Hope you're doing well.
For sure.
Yes.
Changed my life.
Yes.
Generationally.
Yes, you did. So, all right, now that you've had an opportunity to digest it, I'll start with you, Anthony Dorsett. Your thoughts on Quinnen Williams being here with the Cowboys, a difference-making football player?
Definitely a need in this building. And it didn't have to just be Quinnen Williams. It just needed to be a difference maker on defense. But my whole thing is now with this is like what actually is going to be salvaged with the rest of the season. Now, it's a good thing that he's still under contract, but he has like 3 years left on his deal, so it's not a temporary thing here. He's actually going to be here. But looking at it, I'm just looking at the structure of it. What are they, 3-5-1 at this point?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know mathematically, and still being second in the division, fortunately for them with this division being so weak. But mathematically, I don't know what that's actually going to be able to do as far as like getting through the playoffs and getting into the playoffs and everything else like that. Hopefully he comes in and has that impact that you talk about. But, it was definitely a need here, but it just seems like it's too late. You give up a first-round pick and a second-round pick. You still don't have a pass rush when you had Micah Parsons in here. I think you still might have had a first-round pick. You probably could have kept Micah here and still gone out and get Quinnen. You might not have been able to pay both of them, but there was a possibility for something like that to happen. And once again, we're still talking about no pass rush. We got a great run stopper, but I read coming in here outside in the hallway that he's like the last D tackle when it comes to pass rush. He's number 1 when it comes to run stuff.
He's
right.
number 1, tied at 14.
All right.
So picking up just on what you said there, and here's a challenge for where the Cowboys are, just looking in terms of losses. Because a lot of the losses have been right here in the NFC. So you lost to the Eagles, NFC. You lost to the Bears, NFC. You lost to the Packers, NFC. You lost to the Panthers. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you tied. You tied the Packers. Thank you.
Yeah.
You lost to the the Carolina Panthers. Lost to the Carolina Panthers. You beat the Commanders, and then you lost to Arizona. So some teams that could be right there when you're talking in terms of those playoff matches, you've lost to them. And they really don't have much leeway along the way with the rest of the schedule, which is after the bye week, Raiders, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants. All right, Jesse, give me your thoughts on Quinnen Williams. That's the big trade, the big kahuna.
Right. The trade itself was a phenomenal trade. I think this is one of the guys that we've been chasing since Jay Ratliff, in my opinion. You haven't had a physical guy in the middle of this defense since Jay Ratliff. And some will say, Leroy Glover, going, back to that. We had to get now for tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't think this season is salvageable, right? But you go and you get a player that now you can see him in this unit for the second half of the season. And what a good GM would do is say, okay, we have him. Let's see how he looks with these guys. And now, how do we build around it?
Gotcha.
How do we start building it around it? Because look across the league. at the good defenses in this league, you need to have A players, not 8, but A+ players. And then you surround them with a couple B's over here, a couple C's over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe high to F if he's over there somewhere. But but the better part of it is I have layers of different level players. And then when I put them together, the A's make the B's go higher, the B's make the C's go higher. And now we're flirting around at being top 14, 13, 12 defense. And I know what my offense is going to be.
So let me ask this question to both of you. I'll start with you, Jesse. Is Quinnen Williams now the best player on this defense?
Hands down. Not even close.
Without question.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's not even an argument. I think that Clowney played his best game that he's played last week. If you watched the video, Clowney showed up. He set the edge. He made some good plays and everything else like that on defense. But when it comes to that difference maker that you talked about, this is definitely the difference maker. He's number one on this.
If you're looking at elite players, like if the level is elite, he's the closest thing to the elite ceiling. And I don't think there's a lot of other jokers who are even on the same floor. Okay. So he's the closest when you talk about position-wise.
Right.
I mean, he's top 5 at that position. You look at it's Quinnen, it's Sexy Dexy, it's
Jones in
Kansas City, Jeffrey Simmons. And there's one more that I'm missing.
I can't.
An interior dude, but he's in that conversation.
Right. When you, as Bum Phillips used to say, if his name ain't the head of the class, ain't gonna take long to call the roll. The coach,
right.
You know, he's there. Okay, he's on the medal stand.
Yes,
you know, he's right there. Okay, so if Quinnen Williams is your best player, who is your second best player on defense?
Right now, you're gonna have to go probably. It's going to be up front. It's going to be Kenny Clark, and if it's not Kenny, if it's not going to be him, it's going to be the linebacker that they bringing in, because like right now what we've seen on the defense side of the ball, like everybody is struggling at every position right now, you know. So
to me, right now, it's Donovan Azaraku. He's the second best defensive player.
So. Just all right. If you take Azaraku and you take Kenny Clark, at least you can say, if you're Matt Eberflus, now I have the formations of what it could possibly be a defensive line as you go the rest of the way.
Yes,
that could help.
Yes,
because so much you would say, how can you help? Azaraku getting better, as a rookie, and you guys know in this league, man, the toughest year you have is that first one.
Yep,
because you don't know what you're getting into.
Watching him on video, he's still learning. He's highly athletic. First of all, you can recognize that, and he's strong, you know, at the point of attack. But I don't think that so far that his play has equaled the numbers have equaled the amount of play. If what I'm saying, so like he's made plays, but he hasn't made that many big impact plays yet.
All right, so you've got that, and that's just moving forward. As I'm trying to be a positive in a really, you look at the schedule, a non-positive situation here. I think this year's lost. But as you're going forward, you've got what is the plan? How do you start to use these guys? Figure it out right now. Figure out the rest of the half of the year what you have so you know going into free agency and what's left in the draft, where you plug these holes to try to get yourself better next year. And it sounds as though Matt Eberflus will be back because Jerry did his radio show yesterday, said he made a mistake in having 3 defensive coordinators over 3 straight years.
Which, by the way, wasn't totally Jerry's fault, right? Because, and here's why. Here's why. And trust me, I'm not the one that's going to put the cape on for Jerry. You were losing Dan Quinn unless you made him your head coach. That was happening. He went and got a head coaching job. He didn't leave and go get another DC job. He went to become a head coach. So unless you were planning on flying Mike at that time, Michael from Pittsburgh, Dan Quinn was gone, right? Then when you had Zim made it very clear, I want to be a head coach. I'm not working for this kid. What do you have to do? So it wasn't as if the DCs had a choice. They had a choice. But it wasn't like Jerry, his choice was make them the head coach or lose them.
Okay, so
that's 2 of them, right? Like, so now Matt Eberflus, different story.
Here's where I'll counter you.
Okay.
So Dan Quinn left. Joe Witt Jr. told me he wanted the job. He was already in the building.
Yeah.
He's here. He was with DQ when they put in the pieces. He knew what to do.
Yeah. But
they didn't want to give him the job. Okay. Another guy who was here in the building, Aiden Dirty. Right now, he's the defensive coordinator of Seattle.
A damn good team out there, too.
I think everybody's sitting there saying, wow. So you had two guys with institutional knowledge of the organization, and you said no. I heard some people say, well, Jerry doesn't like first-time coordinators. Really? I'm sorry. What was Kellen Moore? What was Jason Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
What was Brian Stewart? We've seen this happen before. You brought in Mike Zimmer. My issue, AD, you've heard me say it on the Players Lounge before. You brought in a dude who wins with big people up front. You got little people.
Mm-hmm.
You got a guy that you know and you like, but you're not giving him the pieces that he needs. Meanwhile, you passed on two guys who knew and understood the pieces. So my counter to you is just Jerry could have stayed in-house. You look at San Francisco. DeMeco Ryans takes over coordinator. Then he goes to become a head coach. I mean, you had Saleh. Then Saleh left. And DeMeco took over. I mean, they just kept on funneling people who knew what to do.
And that's how most organizations do it.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, they say
Belichick kept bringing. You played with Belichick,
right?
Everybody
look at Detroit. Detroit's like, we ain't going to go to the building. The next, hey, you up?
Yeah.
Your turn. Next guy up. That's how you build a tree. Right? That's how you begin to build your trees, right? Yeah, all right, next guy up.
You played at Carolina, you know what it is. We teaching you the system.
Yeah, absolutely. You played in it, you've been around it. Hey,
you coaching it. Right.
So, yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying for those guys, it wasn't like he pushed the head guys, like the DCs out. Now, to your point, yes, he 100% could have went inside. Now, there may be some other things that's deeply rooted in that. Don't know.
Right.
Don't know. The one thing that I've kind of noticed that's been a little bit of a trend with Jerry in hiring, at least on the defensive side, maybe a lot of times, if he ain't your friend or he ain't really familiar with you, I don't think he really want to take that shot. That's been where, and wrong or right, that just feels like the trend that he works with. If I'm going to hire a coordinator, or if this head coach doesn't come in and is the coordinator of that particular side, with Wade, he was a defensive coordinator, right? So like Jason, he became the offensive. If you're not like this with the Jones family or Jerry Jones, in some of those instances, you get overlooked.
But they didn't know Dan Quinn, though.
It's hard to say like what it is, because like you've been in the building for a long time. Me watching from the outside all the time, I'm like, is the point of emphasis not on the defense at all?
Here?
Yeah.
No.
And it's clear. And it has been clear for a number of years.
Defense don't sell tickets.
Hey, but defense wins championships.
Defense don't sell tickets.
And I understand. So, like, the game has definitely changed to a high-scoring point game and everything else like that. But you still got to have somebody out there. If you're going blow for blow, I guess you could say who gets the ball last. Whoever getting the ball last on offense, that defense is going to have to know how to stop somebody. And at this point, it goes back to what I said weeks ago. I've never seen a big-name linebacker in here. I've never seen the face of the defense be like some dude who is like a London Fletcher, like a Bobby Wagner. You don't see those type of guys in the middle of this defense here.
That goes back to Jimmy Johnson's philosophy. Jimmy had basically, I'm putting my picks and my money up in the front end and the back end. That was how Jimmy did it. I'll fill in the middle with guys. I mean, I think when Jimmy was here, they used a first-rounder on Robert Jones out of East Carolina, but after that, they really didn't. I mean, even when they brought in Kenny Norton, they let him go. They drafted Kenny in maybe second or third round, but then when it's time to pay him, they let him go, and he went to San Francisco and won that Super Bowl 29 with the 49ers. But that's never been their deal in terms of paying a guy. Now, they did draft Leighton Vander Esch, so they used a first-round pick on him. They used a second-rounder on Sean Lee. But unfortunately, they paid Sean. Sean just stayed hurt.
Both of these dudes out the league because of injuries. They never materialized to be what they
you drafted him knowing it. Bruce Carter from Carolina, was second round. Another guy who had injuries. So Jalen Smith, another guy with injuries. So they've used high picks on him, not really firsts. A lot of the times there were just some issues. But no, there's never been hey, man, we about to go draft Junior Seau and they come in here and be a linebacker. That's not them.
And so like we said this weeks ago, there's no identity to this defense, and that there has not been one in years.
But if you change coordinators every year, how can you get an idea?
You know what? It's about the guys that are in the locker room. It goes back to that. Like, you could change coordinators. And I understand, like, if we're building a 3-4 and we got to have these type of dudes, or we're building structurally, like, big guys. But at the same time, you're going out there and you're finding big guys that play football. You're not finding big system guys. You know, that's not what I'm looking for I'm looking for somebody that, if anything happens, this dude can get to the ball, he can play football, and it doesn't matter what scheme he's in.
We'll take a break. I want to go back to what you're saying right here, Anthony Dorsett, because there was once a philosophy going along with what you're talking about, but they went away from it. I'll remind everybody who brought the philosophy and what it was when we come back on Players Lounge right here on DallasCowboys.com.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Returning for the 2025 NFL season, Boss reunites with the Dallas Cowboys to drop the next chapter of their iconic collaboration. The Boss Cowboys collection fuses fashion and football once again, capturing the fearless spirit of what it means to be your own boss. Just in time for kickoff, gear up in standout styles that show your team pride with a bold edge. Available now at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, HugoBoss.com, and Boss retail stores. # be your own boss.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Celebrate the season in Cowboys Christmas extravaganza powered by our line at the Star in Frisco. Join the Cowboy organization every Friday and Saturday night from November 21st through December 20th for an electrifying holiday performance. For details, visit thestardistrict.com. We were talking about it yesterday. It is a fantastic show. Anthony Dorsett has been there, taking his son out there to catch at the show. Jesse Holly, have you been out there yet, man?
I have not.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, man. It's a good show, man. It's free.
Yeah.
I know it fits the Holly. Jesse Holly.
Yeah,
free.
You talk about a philosophy. I can tell you a philosophy. If it's free, it's for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
That fit the Jesse Holly philosophy.
Former Cowboy Jesse Holly is here. I'm Newy Scruggs. By the way, let me just skip before we get back to the football. Carolina basketball. You was
Looking
right
good,
about.
right?
You was right about homeboy from Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
You right about that.
Yeah. Come on now. I think Hubert got something going down there.
I need it.
January 3rd they'll be here January 3rd.
Oh, really?
SMU.
North Carolina ACC, right?
Yes.
Yes. What time?
It's a night game.
Night game? I'm flying back in. Oh, yeah.
I'll be there.
All right.
I'll be there.
Go get.
Yeah, I'll be there.
That's where I go get the meat.
Credentials. Go get the credentials going.
Media pass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We
Media
setting up a nice little dinner now. Because you got a bunch of guys. You got Mactar's here.
Mactar. Boy, I love me some Mactar.
Yeah, Mactar.
Boy, Mactar. Boy, Mactar.
Mactar Njai.
Yes, sir,
Mactar
boy.
Njai.
Boy,
Yeah.
you talk about that.
Yeah.
You ever see that skit that Eddie Murphy did on Chappelle's show? And it was real life story with Eddie Murphy's Charlie Murphy. I'm sorry, Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy's real story. Like we did Rick James on.
Yeah.
Mactar should have one, man, where Mactar just sit around here and tell you stuff he's seen in the league and stuff. Boy, I tell you, Mactar got stories.
He does.
Stories, man.
Yeah. Shout out to happy birthday to Jerry Stackhouse too. Today's his birthday.
Boy, Stack. Another
Okay.
Yeah, we got a nice little. I'm privileged in life.
Kinston, North Carolina, man.
And people like joke around when they talk about like when you hear the stories of like Stack. Like Stack ain't the one to be. He ain't one to be trifled with.
Oh no.
Like Stack ain't the one to be trifled with. Like Stack
was
smacked
about
the hell
his
out you.
Stack was about his business.
I hate for Jerry that I was there covering the Mavs when they went to the finals in 06, and Jerry was on that team, and they were up They were up 2-0 on Miami. Had beaten Miami 2-0 that season, and in Game 3, they're up 13 with 6 minutes to go, and they ended up blowing that game and then lost 4 straight. I hate that Stack never got a ring with the Tar Heels or in the NBA because he was definitely a player worthy of. I mean, Jerry Stackhouse made Fila look good.
Hey, Jerry, he was one of my favorite players. He at one point in time, he was a baller, you know. And North Carolina just got. I mean, y'all got hoop history. I mean, everybody gonna think about Jordan. But I mean, it's names that go way beyond Jordan. You know what I'm saying? If you're a true basketball fan, so shout out to you, bro.
Yeah,
that right there is some history and it's a great.
Deron Bland gave me flashbacks on Saturday though. Felt real Ralph. It felt real Jeff McGinnis against.
Not 5. Stop. Leave 5 alone. Leave 5. Charlotte's home, man. Yeah. West Charlotte's home, man. Jeff McGinnis. But going back, Lenny Rosenbluth, man, back there in the 50-17 and beat Wilt Chamberlain. Double overtime, won national championship, man. A lot of history.
A lot of history, man.
A lot of history, man. A lot of history. I love me some Carolina basketball. So, all right. And by the way, Jesse Holly played on a national championship team, won it all in 2005, beat a very, very good Illinois team.
Yeah.
Led by Darren Williams. So,
Darren Williams, yeah.
Heck of a good team. So, Anthony Dorsett, we're talking about the Cowboys, and you were talking about, the kind of players. And so, a philosophy. When Bill Parcells got here as head coach, man, he went to them and he talked about first thing he wanted guys who were captains, guys who loved football. Mm-hmm. So he didn't want troublemakers. He didn't have guys with attitude. He had no time for that, man. He wanted guys who were serious. And so that's where they started drafting people like Swagoo, Marcus Spears, national champion at LSU who played for Nick Saban. They went out there and drafted a Kevin Burnett, who was a captain at the University of Tennessee, drafted a Jason Witten. They started drafting these kind of dudes that fit what Bill wanted. Mm-hmm. They're football players. They're about that life, and they were already leaders where they were at. Dudes that he had to sit around here and worry about. They weren't a bunch of knuckleheads out there. And those guys were good. He had substance.
Yeah.
Not flash and sizzle. He wasn't drafting a Randy Gregory, okay? Randy Gregory wouldn't have come around when Bill Parcells was here. That's what he was looking for. DeMarcus Ware, Terrence Newman, who he didn't want. But he ended up, that was his kind of guy. Dak Wynn, who was already, he didn't want Dak Wynn, but he said, okay, he calls Dak a football playing guy. They played the kind of football that he wanted. Parcells left, they got away from that. You don't see those kind. You see the Randy Gregories of the world. You see the Mozzie Smiths of the world. A guy like Mozzie Smith, who was traded to New York, you have to identify that. You have to identify. Do you like this or not? Love it.
There's one critique that I have about Jerry Jones, and sometimes when it comes to the evaluation of certain things, is I get the process of groupthink. I understand that.
Okay.
But I also I don't need everybody's opinion. I don't.
Rod Marinelli.
I don't.
Prime example. Rod Marinelli
Coach,
went in there.
Correct.
Took Tristan Hill. He's like, I want Tristan Hill. So Tristan Hill was a Group 5 guy at UCF, and his last year there, they basically, the coaching staff was tired of him. So he wasn't starting. It was up and down. And the coaching staff was led by Josh Heupel, who's now at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Well, if a dude is at UCF and it's spotty and he's not playing, you're not using a second-round pick on him.
Right.
But what they did, they decided to go ahead and go to talk to Scott Frost, who left in Nebraska. Scott Frost, man, I like the guy, man. That was all good. So you did that. Then Marinelli, hey, I like Taco Charlton because he fit the scheme over T.J. Watt. And if you go back to what Parcells was doing, Parcells look at a guy like T.J. Watt and say, well, that was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Guy been balling every year he's been.
Got pedigree. He come from what I'm saying? And I think that's the part where it's like, let your scouts do what they do best, right? Like, hey, coach, what type of player are you looking for? Right? Now, coach, okay, I write this down. Okay, he wants this guy. Cool, I got you. Then let Will and his staff deploy them out to go and find a guy. But when you start allowing everybody to have a voice in this situation, you get Taco Charlton. You get you get players that you can't. You get Mozzie Smith. You get these type of
collaboration.
Yeah, I don't and that's the one thing at times, as much as Jerry has this alpha mentality about certain things, and I'm the GM and I'm going to make I don't need a group collaboration on certain things.
When you played for the Raiders, was Mr. Davis a collaborator?
AD was going to make that call, and he didn't care who had what to say about it and who didn't like it or if they did like it. It was going to be, he was going to make that final call regardless. And, you know, like you talk about the evaluation process here. One of the things that I've always noticed and I've always thought is like, and I've said this before, everybody's viewing through the same binoculars regardless if you're not taking the advice from over here or taking it from over there. Like at the end of the day, it's nobody honestly saying like, I ain't seeing what you seeing.
See.
And that's what needs to be said. It's been too much tiptoeing around this building, and instead of beating around the bush, sometimes you got to go straight through it. And that's one of the things that has not been done here, at least on the defensive side of the ball anyway. You know, the accountability that when it comes to, like, when I hear these dudes talk about, you know, I was here with this coach and I was here with that coach and this was going on and that was going on. Well, damn, like, when you recognize that and you part of it, you got to be a part of the change.
But that's the thing, is that you're bringing people in here that don't come from a pedigree, that don't come in here like you're not bringing Ray Lewis in here, who has spent 12 years in the Baltimore Ravens organization. I remember a couple years ago, this might have been maybe 5-6 years ago. Martellus Bennett's brother, Michael Bennett.
Yes.
Michael Bennett came in here, and Michael Bennett was here for 13 seconds.
2 seconds.
And was the leader. Because he came, and it was like, wait, this dude just got here, and he's like, man, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was somebody who came from something and knew what it took to win it all. And when he got here, the dudes who were supposed to be your leaders here, they tucked their tail, and he was telling them like, man, but what ended up happening was he was the outcast. Because the large majority of the group looked at him like,
wasn't used to that.
What you doing?
At all.
Right? And so that's the type of mentality that you have to get in here. And you don't have enough of those guys in here. You don't have enough of I love football dudes in here. You have a lot of dudes in here who like football, who like what football brings.
Word.
You don't have enough lovers of the game. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's a very distinct difference. And I know people will say, well, Dak Prescott's such a great leader. Dak's not going to the other side of the defense. He worried about his side of the ball, right? Like, he might say some things here and there, but there's not enough of those guys in this organization. When you're talking about the guys of those 90s teams, yeah, hey, right? Nate tells me all the time. Like, Nate was like, when Charles Haley came over, he was like, he told Nate, he said, man, I think you're a really good player. He said, but I watched you the first 6 games of the season, you were good. The last 7 games of the season, you were trash. You know why? You fat, slow, and out of shape. He was like, we ain't gonna win if you are starting whatever, and you that way, we ain't gonna never win. And you, and now everybody started getting in line.
Right.
Now you had a bunch of people. Jimmy brought a bunch of people in here that love the game of football. There's not enough people on this football team, from player number 1 to player number 53.
There was also fear of loss when Jimmy was here.
Yes.
Guys knew that you could get cut. Jimmy would tell you, I'm drafting your replacement. So guys knew what was up. In the Garrett years, there wasn't that. People had jobs, come to camp, had a job. I remember one year, man, it was like day 2, they gave Romo day off. Just day 2. What do we do? It's day 2 or 3. It's like, what are we doing? And so you just saw there was no fight for jobs. It's just, it was. But
it's the same culture here. And it's just different faces and different names, but it's the same culture.
And yeah, so guys know where they can do an end around on certain areas and get what they want done. And I go back to the thing of what we talk about, man. There's a lot of style, but substance.
No,
it's a challenge. Mm-hmm. It's a challenge. We're talking about what is the substance of things and where they go, what they need to do around here. But they at least have got an elite player now on defense in Quinnen Williams.
And here's the thing about Quinnen, though, right? Like, he brings elite talent. I don't know if Quinnen brings elite
leadership.
I don't want to question his leadership, but he's coming from the Jets organization. He's coming from a very dysfunctional organization. Right. So what you hope is that he brings a level of work ethic.
Word.
Right? Like, that he brings a level of work ethic that's contagious. Mm-hmm. And that he can say, hey, listen, I was considered one of the best or a part of one of the best defenses in the league because of X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But again, it becomes difficult when it's just one guy. And I got 13, 14, 20 other guys who do it the opposite way.
Can I bring up an example of something real quick?
What I want to do, I want you to hold on to that.
All right.
Come on, that's a professional tease right there.
So we're going to go deeper with it.
That's a professional
AD's about to give us some of that player insight. That's what we do here on the Players Lounge. Jesse Holly, Anthony Dorsett, I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're maxing out overhead presses, pushing through chest flies, or being the hero your golden retriever needs to carry them over that scary bridge, Smoothie King has the fuel to help you go all out. Build muscle and boost your recovery with 45 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and delicious customizable ingredients in the Gladiator Smoothie. Available in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Only at Smoothie King.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Capture frame-worthy holiday photos with Santa at the Star, presented by Monument Realty. Santa will be spreading holiday cheer from November 21st all the way through Christmas Eve. For more information and to book your visit, head to thestardistrict.com/Santa. All right, you are in the Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Jesse Holly in here today. We've got Anthony Dorsett. I'm Newy Scruggs. Both of these gentlemen play the National Football League. Just saw some breaking news here. Kyler Murray placed on IR with a foot injury.
That's crazy. See, you could play the Cowboys all of a sudden. They're like, you know what? You can sit out for a little bit. 10% got it.
It's a done deal.
Yeah.
Buddy, get healed up, buddy.
Right?
Which you know what?
But I'm hearing a lot of talk out of from some people in Arizona. They about tired of Kyler.
Well, this was. I was gonna say it right there. This is the smartest thing. Okay, we talk about, hey man, we get a job back. The kid Dorsett just balled. Yeah, the Cowboys helped him out. But what's the best way to not bench Kyler Murray and cause any? Man, baby, you need to get healed up.
Yeah.
You know, trying to rush you, man. You got this contract, a long career, man.
And Kyler's sensitive.
Right.
Like Kyler he's emotionally fragile. Like he's a fragile dude, like mentally. You know, he's like, don't yell at me. I can't take getting yelled at. I can't take being,
Yeah.
Like I always lie when they had the gaming clause in his contract, and they go, no, we didn't have. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
100%. That didn't just, you didn't oops. That ain't an oops.
Yeah. No, you're right. But so it's just very interesting. After Dorsett looked like Black Tom Brady here at AT&T Stadium, they go say, man, you.
Oh my goodness.
And if you're the head coach, Jonathan Gannon, you're against it.
No, not at all.
You lost 4 straight. You lost at home to Tennessee. You look bad in and fined you $100,000. You up against. You trying to win and rally your troops. And so I wouldn't be going to Kyler Murray if I'm him. I trust Jacoby Brissett. My tight end looks like he's lethal now because Brissett's finding the ball. Now Marvin Harrison's out here balling. I know it's the Cowboys. They make it my career day, but hey, see if he can do it again. Yeah. But yeah, putting Kyler, that's no coincidence.
Yeah.
Ain't no coincidence right there. Because you guys both play in the league. If you hurt and they need you, you good.
You good.
Yeah, they'll
clear you in a minute, boy.
Good drugs. They got good drugs in them. They got good drugs in them trading rooms.
They want you out there.
Yeah.
They want you out there. They put you out there. So,
Sure.
Okay, Anthony Dorsett, you had you're ready to lay it on us here right before we went to break. So I want to make sure you had time to breathe and get it out there.
Oh, yeah. So before we went to break, it was the whole thing about building teams and having guys that say come from some type of winning program and being able to, I guess you could say, kickstart your program too as well. If they come into the Cowboys from a Super Bowl team, and you always see at the end of the year, whoever goes to Super Bowl, whether win or lose, those teams get dismantled because everybody wants a little piece of whatever that culture was that they had to win and get to the Super Bowl. Now, being a part of being in Tennessee, all right, and I could truly tell you that like my first 3 years there, we were basically an average team. Okay, we went 8-8. If we did, maybe 9, but we never got past, never got to the playoffs, and there was never anything going on like that. All right, so we built this team, and of course we got a bunch of dudes on the team that Jesse talks about that love to play football. Right. All right, but at the same time, we were a highly competitive team. That was one of the teams that, like, I don't know if it probably never went on here, but dudes were getting in fights in individual meeting rooms. All right. Oof. Yeah, that's how competitive it was, okay? But it was one of those things where you had so many vets on the team that they wasn't afraid to call nobody out like Charles Haley, right? And let you know, like, hey, I ain't asking this from you because I want this from you. This is what we need from you for us to be able to be successful and win. Okay, so going to the Raiders, right? Raiders hadn't been to the Super Bowl playoffs in I don't know how many years before I got there. But I'm coming off the Super Bowl, and that's all I know, and that's all I'm thinking about, right? So get out there, mini camps and everything else like that. And I start preaching it then. Hey, look, let's start getting this in our heads right now about trying to get to the postseason and da-da-da-da. And in the beginning, it was dudes out there sucking their teeth. Oh, man, like, they didn't want to hear it. Right? And so, like, but every day I stayed with it, okay? And so finally one day, somebody did something. And I was like, look, man, whoever doing that, just stay out here with me after practice. Reagan Upshaw, name that y'all might remember, might not remember, D lineman. Reagan stands up and was like, yeah, anybody got a problem with this right here, what we trying to build, stay out here and let's talk about it. And then from there, start to filter through guys, all right? And it just didn't go from, like, me to this guy. It went through groups, okay? And then the accountability amongst ourselves became to, like, hey, look, I'm not trying to go home in January 1st, all right? I don't want to see that. So what do we have to do amongst ourselves to change this culture, whether it be just keep talking about it, or put the work in to do it, and we eventually were able to do both. And so I say that to say, like, granted I had come from just fresh out the Super Bowl, but at the same time, like, I wasn't part of no big program. We hadn't had all these years of winning or anything else like that. It was just the spirit that I had about me. I was at Pitt. We went 6-5 every year. Did I want to go 6-5 every year? No, but it's what happened. But was I not in a champion mindset? Had I not been raised by a dude who has played at the highest level and seen certain things? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just a part of you as a player. And like I know, when you're out here coming from where we came from, late round draft pick, not getting drafted at all, everything that you do is a fight daily to get better. Everything. You got something to prove every time you walk in the building.
Practices or games.
Come on, man. And so, like, even in this building, I don't care how many stars out here who done been through here, these men got an obligation to get better every time they step foot in this building.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And you come from and are cut from an entirely different cloth than what the modern player is cut from. You have some that are cut from that cloth. But overall, and I'll leave his name out of this, but when the Cowboys came back from training camp and they had their training camp practices here, okay, I'm down on the sideline and I'm watching practices. This particular player is not a star. Not even close to being a star. Not even close. And he's out. And he's hurt. And as practice is literally going on, not stretching, not just a little stuff before. Practice is literally in the full swing of things. He's holding up the camera. He grabs the camera from another one of the videographers, and while practice is going on, he's doing that. And there was nobody there was nobody that was like, hey, bro, what are you doing? There wasn't a coach. There wasn't a veteran player. And now this particular player, he's not a star. He's a rotational piece, special teamer at best. And he's hurt. And instead of him being in his coach's side pocket, learning to what's going on so that he's ready to go when it's time to go, he thought
that was okay.
And guess what? A very high official in the Cowboys organization was standing right there on the sideline, and he never said a word. And so this is what you're asking for, is that you're asking for a level of mentality that has not been developed here. Because the guy who is a special teamer and a backup to the backup at best thinks that it's okay to do certain things and no one's here to check him.
I remember that mentality leads me to a time when the only time the Cowboys got pulled off Sunday Night Football, game got flexed, and then they went to play at 1:00 noon here, but it was a 1:00 game, and they asked Jalen Smith, your thoughts about it, concerned, embarrassed. He's like, hey man, owner ain't tripping, we ain't tripping. Got it. Okay, you cool playing at 1:00 with everybody else.
Everybody else.
And right there, oh, hey, he just told you, Jerry cool, we cool. No Sunday night game. I get home at night and go kicking it. It's up like okay. By the way, you guys thoughts about Draymond Green calling Dak Prescott a bum?
Go ahead, man.
I'm not wasting energy on that.
For me, when I saw it, and then the first thing that popped into my head was his Michigan State highlights of him trying to play football. All right, that was the first thing that popped into my head. But then the second thing that popped into my head is that Draymond Green actually plays basketball just like the average football player does. You know what I'm saying? As far as like Jesse got true basketball skills, but most of us gonna get out there and play like Draymond do, like kicking people, flailing all over the place.
Detroit Bad Boys.
Come on, man.
The Bill Lambert, Rick Mahorn school.
But it just goes to say,
Draymond should thank his lucky stars every single, whatever God he believes in.
Boy, because role players are not. You really can't be a role player in the NFL.
Marcus Spears said this: "It's a bit rich coming from Draymond Green, who's played with arguably a top five player to ever play in the NBA, come out and say that like he's been the catalyst."
Yeah. I don't even, because, come on. Like, Draymond, you got a chance to play next to arguably the greatest shooter to ever pick up a basketball. You played with Kevin Durant. You played with Clay when he was in his prime. Dog, you got to pass the ball. Relax. So, I mean, there's certain things you shouldn't even really.
I think it's a gang of football players right now that could go shut him down on the basketball court at any time if they wanted to. I don't think that he's as skilled like that to honestly be like, to be running his mouth like that.
So, all right. So you guys are former professional players in the media now. So let me ask you this. When did it get to the point in time where athletes who've played feel the need to just insult to another level of other professional athletes in different sports?
It got safe out here for several years.
Oh, social media.
It didn't used to be this safe. You used to couldn't just run your mouth with no consequences. But now it's pretty safe out here for a lot of dudes. You know what I'm saying? And so that being said, I don't know how many times Draymond and Dak going to be in the same place. But I don't know if Dak is that guy to actually do that anyway. But I played with some dudes that Dak wouldn't have to say nothing.
Here's the thing about Draymond. Draymond knows who and when. He know who to do that to. He know who to say that to. Draymond wouldn't have said that in Charles Oakley prime. You see what I'm saying? Draymond wouldn't have said that in Dale Davis's time.
He ain't gonna say that about Oak now.
Like you watch the mentality of who, and even when Draymond is woofing in the court,
like the guy he socked.
Correct. Jordan Poole.
Come on, man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know who to do. Like, that is the definition of a bully. Like, that is the legitimate definition of a bully. He knows exactly who to pick fights with and to mess with.
European dudes on the court. He's going after. Got it.
And once again, I'm going to go back to his football highlights that's out there for everybody to see. All right? We saw it. You know what it is, too.
I ain't see Draymond say nothing. He won't do that to you, Udonis Haslem. He wouldn't have did that to Zebo.
Hey, what's my man's name in the NBA that's the UFC fighter and everything else like that, too?
He's a backup on the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
He don't do that to him.
Ain't nobody talking
He won't do that to Jokic.
Nope. Them brothers coming out the stands. Jokic might not do nothing, but them brothers for sure coming out the stands and meet them in the alleyway.
All right, fun show. Our final show of the week, and next week I'm off. So Jesse,
I'll be sitting in the captain's seat.
There you go. You're right, man. Have fun.
These guys are great, man.
I'll think about you in Vegas, man.
Yeah. Have a good time
put
out
20
there,
on
brother.
the yo for me. You know what I'm saying? Put 20 on the yo.
We can't.
On the yo, you can put 20 on the yo. You can go to the craps table now. You can go to the craps table now. I know that for a fact. Oh. You can put 20 on the yo for your boy.
Okay.
All right.
I guess can't go to the sports book.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Can't go to sports book.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can throw 20 on the yo for your boy.
I'm just avoid everything.
Yeah.
Avoid everything.
I got you.
Jesse Holly, Anthony Dorsett, for Chris Beam, Josh, everybody's a part of it. I'm Newy Scruggs. We'll talk to you. Well, they'll talk to you next week. Later.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!